Housewives in the island, baby. So let the party start. Them woman beautiful as ever. The sun is hot, boy. Are you ready? Ha! Move your body. Let the Caribbean rhythm touch your soul and make you go crazy.
Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I'm here to review episode 5 of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Getting Their Drinks Slapped Out of Their Hands trip. So we start the episode off with everybody waking up the following day after they all had Melissa's slumber party the night before where they were all playing the drinking games, the twister games. So I'm assuming that some of them are waking up with hangovers, maybe a headache, maybe next to somebody else's husband. So Ramona, she's heading downstairs to film her confessional and she announces it. She's like, okay, I'm heading downstairs to film my confessional. And you know that's all Kyle had to hear for her to run down the stairs. And she was just like, wait, confessional? Wait a minute, hold on, I'm coming, Ramona. That's my favorite place to go. Let me put my clothes on, let me brush my teeth, let me do my hair. You know what? Fuck my hair. I'm going to the confessional. So she heads downstairs with Ramona. They're both in the confessional. You know, Kyle's favorite spot. And the producer there, she's asking her a question. I'm assuming that this producer is probably Michael's wife's cousin or something because she's like, so, I mean, I know both of you are getting along, but what do both of you think about Luann and Michael's shot that they took? You know, when Luann was sitting on Michael's dick and everything. What do you think about that shot? And then they flash forward, or they flash back to Luann, who's in her room, and she's just waking up from her one-night stand that she had with Michael. And she's just like, this is crazy. I just walked by Michael's mom in the kitchen, and it was so awkward because, you know, she probably knows that I probably, you know, did X, Y, and Z with him the night before, but it felt like the walk of shame. I just think it's so hilarious that he's married. And I'm like, Luann, just put some clothes on and just go to breakfast. And then back in the confessional, Kyle and Ramona, they're both talking. They're saying that this whole experience, you know, with the other women from different cities, it just comes natural to them, that all the friendships that they built, it just came natural and realistic to them. You know, it's not like you have to force it between them. But then Ramona, she's like, yeah, I'm clicking with everybody except Kenya. I feel like Kenya has been antagonizing me and she's been provoking me. And I'm like, first of all, Ramona, no, she has not. Yes, Kenya may have a history of maybe provoking other women on the show, mainly in the Atlanta cast. But with you started with Kenya simply on the boat before you even got to the villa. You started by calling her Portia, and then when you got to the villa, you took her room that everybody kind of agreed to. Well, not really agreed to, but they were forced by Cynthia to give the best room, and then you wanted to make a big deal out of that. So you're the one that kept antagonizing Kenya. So just because everybody else is staying silent to you, and you're used to that from the New York cast, doesn't mean that Kenya is antagonizing you. Even the producer had to laugh at her because Ramona was just like, yeah, I mean, over the years of me being on the show, you know, I've gotten much softer, much nicer. You could ask Andy Cohen. And I'm like, well, again, I have never seen the New York franchise, but if this is what she calls nicer and much softer, then I can only imagine what she was, you know, throughout her entire run on the New York Housewives, because I've seen clips of her. The producer was just like, you got softer? You got what? And then Ramona's just like, wait, why are you laughing?
No, she really said that she got softer over the years. Like, who is she fooling? She is as hard as rock.
So then we see Michael in the living room, and he's cleaning up the mess from last night. He's cleaning up some of the cups that they used, some of the board games, some of the condoms that him and Luann used the night before. And then we see Kenya with Teresa. Kenya is telling Teresa that it's her day. She's having her event, you know, because each one of them have their own event each day. So today is Kenya's, and she's having a Gone with the Wind, you know, yacht thing with the women, that they all get to just relax and enjoy and drink on this fabulous yacht. And, you know, I think she says that she wants everybody to twirl and to come in their best attire. So she's like, Teresa, you better twirl for me. You know, Twirl, her song that came close to #1 on the Billboard charts many, many, many years ago, which is one of the most iconic Housewives songs ever. Eventually, they all get ready and they all head out to go to the yacht. So in the car, we see Kenya, Kyle, Luann, and I believe it was Melissa. They're in one car and then the rest of the group is in the other car. And then they start talking about fashion, and Kenya's like, yeah, I like how everybody's dressed, but there's just one person on the cast that I don't think she's really dressed to what we're about to do today. And they're all speaking about Ramona. And I didn't really see an issue with Ramona's outfit. I actually thought it was cute. But maybe, I mean, compared to the other women, yeah, she doesn't look like she's really going to a ship or to a yacht or to the beach at all. It looks like she's kind of going to a concert or something, like Luann has said. But I still had no issue with her outfit, nor should anybody either. I mean, I'm just like, okay, this is her choice. What's the problem? But Kenya, she had an issue with it. And I'm like, okay, Kenya, you know, I'm with you for the most part, but here in this conversation, you lost me just a little bit because she was just like, I just don't agree with how certain people dress. I mean, my nanny, she embarrasses me all the time when we go out and she's just wearing flip-flops and she has logos all over the place and she looks a hot mess. And I'm like, damn, Kenya, this is how you speak about your nanny? I hope the nanny put her 2 weeks in, or at least I hope when she's watching this episode while Kenya's away filming season 13 or whatever, that the nanny just robbed her of everything. And left her house empty and was just like, okay, you want to say that I have no style or anything? Fine, I'm taking all of your shit and I'm leaving. Because it was so disrespectful. It was such in bad taste, I think. That's what it was. It was disrespectful and it was in such bad taste. Don't talk about your nanny, though, the woman who, you know, is taking care of your daughter for you on TV like that. It's just, I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that the nanny should be, you know, blinged out and have the best fashions and everything when it comes to traveling with Kenya as well? I mean, even Kyle was shocked. She was just like, well, I'm from Beverly Hills, but really what she meant to say is I'm from Encino. And, you know, even us, we're not really like that. But okay, I guess, you know, you want to have an unrelatable conversation like that. As they're finally getting on the yacht, they're all drinking, they're all having a fun time, they're all dancing, you know, they're all shaking their ass, they're all having a good time, right? And then Kyle, I believe she was walking up some stairs when she noticed that another boat was near their yacht taking pictures of her. And she's like, oh my God, wait, I think that's the paparazzi. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? So you know Melissa pushed Kyle out the way. She was like, move, Kyle. I want the paparazzi in the spotlight. Over here, over here. Get closer, get closer. Is there any way that the captain could stop the boat or the ship? Like, let's just stop it. Let's throw an anchor out or something. I want pictures of me because I don't really get a lot of attention on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Can we just stop it really quickly? Should I perform one of my new songs? I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna perform one of my new songs for them. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Paparazzi watching me do my thing, 'cause I'm on display, on display, on display, each and every day, every day, every day.
After Melissa takes her paparazzi pictures, they all head downstairs to continue drinking, to continue the fun. Ramona, she orders a drink, and Kyle, she decides to poke fun at her, and she's like, Ramona, you do know that your history on the show, you're not known for treating the employees of restaurants or hotels correctly. And Ramona's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? No, I treat everybody with respect. And I'm like, Ramona, I don't know about that, because I could definitely believe your history of treating employees incorrectly, because just 2 episodes ago, when they were at the psychic place, where they were having lunch with the psychic, she was ordering the man around like, oh, can you take pictures of us? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then the guy had to shut it all down and was just like, Ramona, you do know that I'm the boss of this establishment, right? Like, who are you talking to? So I can definitely believe that Ramona has a bad track record when it comes to how she talks to employees. I could just already picture her just not saying any thank yous, please, anything, just demanding everything. And she's like, oh, well, you know, because of the show, I have seen myself and I feel like I'm much more self-aware because of the show. And I'm like, what? Luann then jumps in and she's like, yeah, Ramona, you could be a tad bit rude to the people that you're living with or to the employees who are working for you. And I'm like, you see, Ramona, this is not a complete stranger who is saying this about you. This is somebody that you have shared the whole New York Housewives franchise experience with. Luann, she has been there the same amount of time, I believe, with you filming this show. So I'm pretty sure that Luann, she's just not speaking this out of thin air or out her ass. I'm pretty sure that she has receipts and stories to back all of this up. But Ramona, she refuses to hear it. She's like, no, you're making all of this up. I don't know what you're talking about. No. I don't know what you're talking about. So then I believe it was Kyle. She's like, Ramona, are you an only child? Like, what's going on? And Ramona's like, no, I'm a child of 4. You know, she has 3 other siblings. She's like, no, I was just on my own island. I used to do my own thing or whatever. And then Kenya jumps in. You could tell that Kenya was getting a little agitated at Ramona's behavior. And Ramona, I feel like she was a little bit drunk too. You know, she had a couple drinks in her system because she started getting all sloppy all over the place. But Kenya, she jumps in and she's like, well, that's no excuse for talking to people whatever way you feel like it. Because look at me. My mom, she didn't even want anything to do with me, and I still don't talk about people the way you do, Ramona. And I'm like, Kenya, now wait a minute. Like, let's flash back to like 10 minutes ago when you were in the car just trashing your nanny for wearing what she does on the airports and to flights with you. Like, let's not get carried away. You also have a way of speaking to people, maybe not employees, but to your coworkers, you know, in Atlanta a certain way. So let's not pretend like you're holier than thou either. You know, even though Ramona is a train wreck on legs. But regardless, Kyle, she also jumps in and she's also sharing her experience of, you know, being in her family and everything and how she was treated by her mother. And then you could tell that, again, Cynthia, then she jumps in because she starts getting agitated as well because she sees that Ramona and Melissa, they're off to the side. Ramona's just kind of like leaning on Melissa. They're both talking and giggling as Kyle is trying to have this serious conversation. And then Kenya, she like raises her voice at Melissa. She's like, Melissa. And if I was Melissa, I would have been like, who the fuck are you talking to, Kenya? Like, you know, I know that we just took some really nice booty pictures the other day on the ship, but please let's not get carried away because she was just talking to Melissa like she was a child. She was like, what? So you're going to do the Ramona now? Like, what are you doing? You're ignoring Kyle for the story that she's about to talk about right now. What's going on here? And Melissa, she's like, well, I heard this story before. So Kenya's like, oh, so now you're gonna do the Ramona. And you know, I don't even blame Kenya for saying that because Melissa, all of you were just upset with Ramona for doing the same exact thing, and now you're using that as an excuse. And then Cynthia, she jumps in and she's like, no, we are not having this on this day. We are gonna get along like a sisterhood, and we're all gonna share each other's pain, and we're gonna talk about each other's life. So everybody has to listen equally. So please, everybody hush up and everybody listen to Kyle. Even if the story's a little bit boring, we still need to listen. But Melissa, she's not having it. Melissa's like, oh, wait, why is Cynthia being so serious? I just don't get why she's being so serious. I'm trying to, you know, set the tone for Kenya's trip right now, like what's going on here? And I'm like, yeah, she's being a little bit serious, but at the same time, I think Cynthia at this point, she has had it enough with people interrupting or just not listening overall, especially to her. You know, people just ignore Cynthia all the time. I feel like the same way that Kenya just stomps all over Cynthia and just uses her as a doormat, I feel like sometimes people see that and they're like, oh, we don't need to take Cynthia serious. She's just there. She'll listen whenever she wants to, and we don't really need to care about what comes out of her mouth. I feel like that's how people see Cynthia sometimes for the most part. So I don't blame Cynthia for speaking up and raising her voice a bit, because I'm like, okay, if you're gonna listen to one story, you have to listen to everybody else's story equally. You know, no matter how boring or if you listen to it already, you know, you still have to listen regardless. Kenya then decides that they're gonna play a game called Who Said That? And I wonder if she used that because of Portia. You remember, because Portia said, who said that? And then everybody else around the table, that one scene said, who said that? Who said that? Candy said it, you know, so I'm not sure if that's why Kenya chose to name her game that, but regardless, the game's premise is that each one of the women is gonna have a turn reading these cue cards, and on the cue card is a bunch of quotes that one of the women on the cast has said to somebody else, and they have to guess who said that, right? So I'm like, okay, so this game is obviously going to be messy. The woman in their confessional, they're saying, yeah, this game is going to try to probably stir the pot. I see what Kenya's trying to do. But I'm trying to figure out, Kyle and Kenya, why are both of you not saying, oh, yeah, this game is going to be messy. I don't feel comfortable playing this game because it's too much. It's going to cause drama. Huh, Kyle? Like, you didn't feel comfortable playing Cynthia's game that back at the Bailey Q. So why are you comfortable playing this? Because it's going to cause drama between the women? Is that why? You know, in Kenya, she's allowed to play this game, but she was so quick to be on board with Kyle and like, oh yeah, I don't really feel like playing this game, Cynthia, at the Bailey Q. You know, I just feel like it's too much, you know, let's not do that. But we're so quick to play this shady game. It's just an observation, but you know, I'm here with it. Regardless, they get down to this one comment that I don't remember what the exact quote was, but it was Ramona basically calling Tom's ex-girlfriend, which is Luann's ex-husband. And I'm like, my God, what kind of friendship that they have that they both managed to be cordial next to each other? And apparently, again, I don't watch New York like that, but Ramona has called Luann's ex-husband's ex-girlfriends to get information on him. And I'm like, Luann, you still managed to sit here and just befriend this woman? Like, absolutely not. You know, once you do all that type of mess, it's a no-go and you're gonna get the scissors and that friendship is over. But you know, that obviously rattles up Ramona, and Ramona's like, well, you know, I was just trying to get some information from Tom and everything, because you know, I just felt like he was just doing too much and he wasn't like a really good guy at all. And then Teresa, she jumps in for some reason and she's like, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying about Tom being a, you know, scumbag before he met Luann and everything, because my brother Joe, he was a fucking scumbag too. He was a fucking womanizer. He was trash. And Melissa, she's just sitting there like, that's my husband you're talking about. Like, Teresa just trashed her brother for no reason. I'm like, okay, that was a good way to kind of insert yourself in the conversation. But Ramona, what she was trying to get at is that she was just trying to get information for Tom because she felt like Tom was probably sleazy. He had a sleazy past or whatever. And then, as you could tell that, again, Ramona's drunk at this point, because you could just tell in the face you know, after you had a couple drinks, it starts showing on your face starts just like squeezing all together. She's talking to Kyle and she's like, well, Kyle, it's not my fault that, you know, Luann fucked him on the first night. And I'm like, even Kyle, you know, Kyle lives to try to be a GIF, because Kyle was just like, and that's all that Luann had to hear coming out of Ramona's mouth for her to walk up on her. And honestly, Ramona, if Luann would have walked up to you and slapped the shit out of you for saying that, I mean, she wouldn't have been wrong, because you just don't say that. And Luann, as she gets closer, she's like, I can't believe that you said that, Ramona. How dare you? Like, what did you just say? What did you say? Did you just say that I fucked Tom the first night that I met him? Yeah, it's true. And the same thing goes and applies for Michael. But what about it? Why are you exposing me to millions of people watching this show? Why are you telling Kyle? Why are you snitching on me? Why are you kissing and telling? And Ramona's like, what's going on? I'm just trying to be more sex positive. It's not a bad thing. I'm actually advocating for you. And I'm like, Ramona, stop. Like, Luann, if I was you, I would have just shoved her off the boat right then and there. I mean, she was close to the edge. Kyle, she was holding on to dear life for her. But regardless, Luann, she just felt some type of way. She felt so disrespected. And Luann is just like, you know, you'll never change. You'll always be the same person. I can't believe this. Why even give you another opportunity? This is just ridiculous. And then she's just walking away. She's storming off. She's so upset. Kenya is seeing all of this, and she's like, you know, Ramona, you're a really fucked up friend. I can't believe this. Like, this is a joke. And then Ramona's like, what? No, I'm a girlie's girl. I'm a girl's girl. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just looking out for Luann. I'm just trying to be, you know, again, more sex positive. And Kenya, she's just laughing her head off. She's like, a girl's girl? I can't believe this. Like, no, you're a whole joke. Ramona, and you know, what's so interesting about this dynamic, if you like step back for a little bit, you kind of see kind of like Ramona being Kenya, and then Kenya being like one of the women in the Atlanta cast, like the wives over there in Atlanta, because usually Kenya is the one antagonizing somebody else or just trying to get underneath somebody else's skin. But here, I was actually pretty disappointed that Kenya was letting Ramona get underneath her skin so much, because I'm so used to Kenya just being in control of everything and of herself. Back in Atlanta with the other wives, even when she has like 7 women coming at her, she's usually, you know, in control, or she knows how to go at it with everybody all coming at her at once. So I was pretty disappointed that she let somebody like Ramona get underneath her skin, and Ramona's just like, oh, you know what, no, fuck you, fuck off. And then that's all that it took for Kenya to jump up. And I think she either slapped or she snatched the drink that Ramona had put in her face. She slapped it off her hand, and she was like, no, Ramona, you're not gonna do this to me. What the fuck? Like, no. This is too much disrespect. I am not allowing you to do this. And then she said one of the most nicest words that I have heard come out of the Kenya's mouth. I mean, I love it. She was just like, you know, Ramona, you better ask about me, because everything that you have heard about me is true, bitch. I love that entire saying that she said. Next time I go for a job interview and I give my resume, that's the first thing that I'm going to say. Like, here's my resume. Everything that you read about me is true, bitch. I love her delivery, but it's just, again, it's just so interesting that Kenya, you allowed Ramona to get underneath your skin enough. Not to really, for you to get really physical with her, because you kind of just slapped the drink out of her hand, but that's still, I guess, physical in a way. But it's just so funny that now you see Portia's frustration back on the reunion of season 6, I believe, where you kept talking to her in that megaphone and you kept antagonizing her and pushing her buttons to the point where she dragged you to the floor. So now you kind of know what it feels like. But, you know, again, I was just disappointed, because I'm like, Kenya, you know, you would never do such a thing like this. You would never act like this with the Atlanta Housewives. You know, I feel like Kenya knows who to pick with, you know, in order to get some type of reaction, because I dare her to go one-on-one with somebody like that and try to get physical or slap a drink out of somebody's hand from the entire Housewives of Atlanta cast. I don't think she would. Do y'all think that she would do that? I don't know. I haven't seen it, so we'll see. But regardless, Ramona, she's just crying like a baby. Kyle, you're always on the wrong side. Like, first you were on the wrong side with Erica, and now you're on the wrong side here, because she was just holding Ramona like a baby. She was just like, it's okay, Ramona. It's okay, Ramona. No. Kenya, back up. It's okay, Ramona. Do you want a warm bottle? Do you want a binky or a pacifier or a blankie? Somebody give me a blankie, quickly. It's okay, Ramona. It's fine. You're going to be fine. Don't worry. You're going to go back to New York soon. Kenya, just go over there and relax a little bit, okay? Just no. Shh. It's okay. Go to sleep. It's okay. It's okay. You want some milky? Kenya starts calling Ramona a peasant. She's like, you need to be cleaning this entire boat. And I'm like, okay, Kenya, again with these words, like, why are we calling her a peasant? Call her a bitch instead. Even Cynthia in her confessional, she was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'd rather be called a bitch than a peasant. Like, let's not call each other that. But regardless, Kenya's going off. Imagine now if Ramona would have replied. Imagine if Ramona would have replied to Kenya, don't make me call Portia. I would have died of laughter if Ramona would have said that. But regardless, Kenya is so upset. Everybody's trying to calm her down. And she walks away. And Kenya, she gives an explanation on why she went off. She's like, I'm just so used to her ex-husband or her current husband, whatever, Mark, kind of just dismissing her and always treating her badly that she's just not going to take that from anybody else. And that's what she felt with Ramona. She felt triggered that Ramona was just kind of like waving her off, ignoring her, blah, blah, blah. So that got underneath her skin. So at the moment, Kenya probably just saw Mark in her eyes. And then that's where she retaliated and she slapped the drink out of her hand. But she's walking away. Everybody's trying to talk to Ramona. They're like, Ramona, what are you doing? Like, you can't just be saying fuck you to anybody like that. And then Ramona, in typical white woman fashion, with white woman tears, she's just like, she attacked me. I mean, what? Yes, she may have, physically, slapped the drink out of your hand first, but you were antagonizing everybody by talking too much shit. So, of course, what's gonna happen? Somebody's gonna get sick and tired of that, and I'm surprised that Luann wasn't the one that dragged you all across the ship, because she's the one that actually really did have to put her hands on you for you just slipping up and saying what you did about Tom. So I don't get why you're saying now that Kenya attacked you. Just because Kenya doesn't take any of your bullshit that the New York Housewives usually do with you. They usually just let you, run a mess up in New York. But Kenya, again, she's not the one to be doing that with. I'm pretty sure Ramona has never seen Kenya on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because if she did, she would use her words better. But regardless, Melissa, she goes upstairs to talk to Kenya. Melissa, you're another one that needs to put a sock in it, because Melissa, she was just a couple seconds away from saying the wrong thing, because she's like, Kenya, I just feel like with you could be very domineering. And I'm like, what is that supposed to mean, Melissa? Like, what? So just because Kenya, she could stand on her own and she could go one-on-one with whoever, she has to be domineering and she has to come off as, oh, she's doing too much or whatever. No, again, people are just so used to always kind of just bowing down to Ramona and just kind of letting all her antics or whatever go by without any, type of consequences, that when there is consequences and there is a stop to it, all of a sudden the person who actually did the whole stopping is the bad one. And when Kenya was questioning Ramona, saying, yeah, you offended everybody on the boat. You offended Teresa. Teresa agreed. And she was like, you offended Cynthia. Cynthia was just like, la, 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 la. Such a nice day outside. So beautiful. Oh, look, there's a dolphin. So cute. What? Ramona? No, she didn't offend me. Kenya was pissed that Cynthia didn't back her up with that. I mean, Cynthia, again, she genuinely forgot. I even forgot. I'm like, when did she offend Cynthia? But, we had to, dive deeply into the flashbacks in order to get that offended thing that Kenya was talking about. I'm like, okay, yeah, she did say something about Cynthia when Cynthia had mentioned it in the car. But who am I? Cynthia's not supposed to remember every single thing, so you couldn't be mad at her. And Kenya was actually upset with her about it. She's like, oh, I'm the one that has to be speaking for everybody here, because obviously you don't have your own back. You can't speak up for yourself, so I have to speak up for you. And Cynthia's like, wait, no, I'm not asking you to speak up for me. I genuinely just didn't know what you were talking about. So that was that. Kenya, she's just walking around the entire boat. And I'm like, how big is this big ass boat where everybody's just walking around all over the place and not meeting up with each other again? Kyle, she's telling Ramona, she's like, Ramona, you need to listen. You need to calm down and just listen. Here, take a piece of bread. Will this calm you down? You need to go apologize to Luann and to Kenya for what you said, because you just cannot be talking to anybody like that. You can't just be saying fuck you to whoever without, somebody retaliating to you. So Ramona, she's like, fine. She goes upstairs. I think Kenya senses that she's coming. So Kenya, she walks around the boat again. I'm like, this big ass boat. Everybody, they're all together. Ramona, she gets in front of Luann at least. And she's like, okay, well, I'm so sorry for everything. I just wanted to be more sex positive like you. I wanted to be like you. Your sexuality is just so freeing and everything. And I want to go to an island and fuck a concierge as well. Just the same way that you're doing with Michael. And then Luann, she hugs her. And I'm like, you see, this is the same Kenya and Cynthia dynamic, only it's Ramona and Luann, because Luann just takes her back and she's like, okay, it's fine, like, you know, I know you're jealous of me, let's hug it out, blah blah blah. And Ramona, she puts her foot in her mouth again. Not even 2 seconds, she's just like, you know, I just knew that Tom was a train wreck for you. And then Luann's just like, oh, you know what, never mind, you'll never change, forget this, you can't teach an old dog a new lessons, I'm leaving. So then Luann, she just walks away again for the 100th time. I'm like, what you and Kenya should have just done would have just double team her. Like, I grab her legs, you grab her arms, let's swing her off the boat finally, you know. But Ramona, she'll never learn. She's at the age where she'll never learn. She's set in her ways, and she's just so used to having it her way and causing all these tornadoes with no consequences that she'll probably just continue acting like this for the rest of her life, unfortunately. So after Ramona almost got her ass beat on the yacht, they decide to just jump into the water and swim around for a little bit. Then they decide to take a smaller boat onto the land, where Kenya, she decides, well, you know what? This is still my activity. I'm not gonna let it go down the toilet. So I wanna do a TikTok video. So they decide to do this dance video for a TikTok. And honestly, most of them, they all were moving like wet cardboards the way they were dancing. I mean, they were like, they looked like they were moving like the fish from the show SpongeBob. But regardless, it was a cute little video. So, you know, kudos to them for putting their differences aside and making a TikTok video. I think it was Ramona. Ramona was like, oh, I didn't even know we were making a TikTok. Regardless, they get back in the car. They're heading back to the villa. It's Teresa's night to make, you know, meatballs. She's making an Italian dinner for everybody. So she's going to cook up meatballs with, I believe it was Michael's mom, I think, that she's making them with. And it's supposed to be Ramona also helping her with it. But she's like, oh, I don't really want Ramona to help me with it. So she could just stay out of the kitchen. So she's in the kitchen. She's making meatballs. Ramona, she is acting like a 2-year-old. She's just whining and complaining. And she's drunk on top of that. She's like, yeah, can I get some of the meatballs? I just want like a meatball. You know what? Fuck Leah from the Housewives of New York. I don't even like her. Or Ebony. Ebony, I don't know why she came onto the show. Can I just have a meatball? Oh, it tastes so good. And Michael is also there. He is getting frustrated because he's about to be late to his little quickie with Luann in the broom closet. And he's like, come on now, Ramona, you do know that your glam squad is waiting for you. You need to go up there and get ready. And Ramona's like, no, for what? My hair's already good. I look fine. Don't you think? And Michael is just like, no, you look really raggedy right now. You look crazy. You look a hot mess. You need to go upstairs quickly. I think your hair is falling into the meatballs. Can you just go upstairs? And then Ramona, she's like, fine, I might go, I might not. She's just continue whining, right? She just continues complaining, just walking around the house drunk, wanting food, right? And then Cynthia, she eventually comes downstairs. Luann comes downstairs. Cynthia, she lets us know, yeah, I'm a little annoyed right now because I was supposed to get my makeup done already, but I think it was because of Ramona. She made the hair and makeup person late, so I had to get my makeup late because of Ramona, because Ramona, she was running around the entire house and the lady was waiting for her, so Cynthia's a little bit bothered by her by doing that. So they all decide to finally reunite at the table outside for the Italian dinner that Teresa has set up. Teresa, she gets up and she's like, okay, I want to do a toast for everybody individually. Cynthia, toast to you for this being your last season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, finally we could, you know, move on from you and everything. Okay, Melissa, Kenya, cheers to you. I love you. Me and you, we're like the same person. I truly, truly have love for you. Like, I really, really do. Kyle, do better on the next season of Beverly Hills, because what were you doing all throughout season 11 protecting Erica? But anyways, Ramona, gowns, beautiful gowns, you know, beautiful gowns. So Luann, I just feel like you need to have a backbone, because you're kind of becoming Cynthia 2.0, because you're just letting Ramona walk all over you. Cheers! You know, so they finally sit down, they're all eating, and they're about to, you know, start drinking and stuff too. But then Cynthia has to bring it up again. And I'm like, Cynthia, is this how you act on vacation? Because I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. I'm just like, you're just being so whiny too. She's like, wait. I have a cheers that I want to do as well. So let's talk about it really quickly. And I'm like, here we go. What does she have to say? And then she continues on with, Ramona, surprisingly, she's like, I have a problem that, Ramona, you made my person late for my makeup appointment, and I had to come down here late to Teresa's dinner. And I'm like, did you though? I mean, everybody's here at the table. Was anybody really late? Maybe you were late by maybe like a minute or two, but it wasn't really nothing serious for you to bring up, even if Ramona was acting like a clown and holding up your glam and makeup and stuff. But I guess it's the principal to Cynthia, so maybe that's why she thought it was a big deal. Ramona, she's like, no, what are you talking about? No, I did not hold up anything. I paid the lady for what I was given. I didn't even want my makeup done. So I told her to go away, that I wasn't going to pay in actuality, but she just refused to go anywhere. And I'm like, you could go to Cynthia's room, but she just stayed in my room. For why? I don't know. So Cynthia's like, no, that's not what she said. She told me otherwise. She said she was trying to collect money out of you, because you were holding out, you were hiding in closets and stuff because you didn't want to pay up. And Ramona just keeps bumping heads with her. Kenya, she's getting annoyed. Kenya's like, oh my God, come on now. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why is Ramona trying to get everybody all riled up again? Kenya, she's just not having it. Kyle, she sees where everything is going. Teresa, she sees where everything is also going. I'm surprised Teresa is just so calm. Oh, but I'll get to that in a second. But again, Ramona just continues going back and forth with Cynthia. They're not really getting anywhere. Eventually, I think they kind of squash it over. And then Luann jumps in and she's like, Teresa, your comment about me not having a backbone, it kind of really bothered me a lot. It really did. I don't know what you meant by that, but I just don't like it. I know what you're talking about with Ramona. And then Teresa's like, yeah, no, I was just trying to defend you with Ramona. I don't like the way she speaks to you sometimes, so I'm not sure what your problem is. And then Luann is just like, yeah, no, but I have a backbone. I mean, look at me. Do I look like I have a backbone? I mean, Michael, he was just hitting that backbone not too long ago. Wink, wink, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't know what you mean by that. I do have a backbone. And then, Teresa, again, surprisingly, she is so calm and collected this season. I mean, we're so used to her just throwing drinks all over the place, or, getting it on with somebody. And here she's just like, oh, well, okay, I'm sorry. And I'm like, really, Teresa? That's it? That's the only thing you're going to say? I mean, she's kind of coming at you, but you're just okay with, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I won't say it again. I'm like, wow, Teresa, like, you're so calm and, tame this time around. But in that trailer for season 12, that says otherwise. I'm assuming that they must have put something in her contract like, Teresa, you can't throw drinks or flip tables or anything on this Ultimate Girls Trip spinoff, or else you're going to be kicked off the next season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. That's the only way. Because there is no way that Teresa just stood so calm, like, okay, Luann, I'm sorry, and apologize. I'm just not used to seeing Teresa act like that, because the minute that you even raise your voice at Teresa, she's like, wait, what do you mean? You're not gonna disrespect me at my fucking meatball and Italian dinner table. No. What you mean, you fucking prostitution whore? And then flip a table on Luann. That's what I expected, but again, just so calm. But they move on for that. She's like, I'm sorry, that's that. Kenya, she's not feeling it because Ramona and Cynthia, they start going at it again. So Kenya, she gets up and she's like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this. It is what it is. Kyle, she chases behind her. And then Kenya's like, Kyle, I just feel so off about my behavior earlier on the boat, because I just don't do that. Like on my show, she made sure to say on my show, in Atlanta, she's not used to doing that. And that's why I was a little bit disappointed in her, because she goes back and forth with the best of them, but she never loses her composure. But again, Kenya, maybe you're just being too hard on yourself, because sometimes we all lose it and it's fine. It happens. And it is what it is. You just learn from it, and that's that. Who cares? Nobody's crucifying you for it. So it is what it is. And it's Ramona, so if anything, everybody's just kind of like Team Kenya, because somebody needed to do it. So, but I get it, because we're not used to, at least I'm not used to seeing Kenya just lose her cool like that or get physical with somebody. I'm just not used to that, because usually it's other people that want to get physical with her. But, so she wants to apologize to Teresa, but she can't, because Ramona is just being too annoying. Ramona and Cynthia, they start going back and forth with each other again about the whole makeup situation. And what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Cynthia just kind of blew it out of proportion? Like, was it that serious to bring up the issue, or should have she just sat there and ate her meatballs and just, toast to red wine and call it a day? So I don't know. I'm like, Cynthia, again, I get it, but is it that serious? I don't know. So regardless, Ramona, she's like, you know what? This is a bunch of bullshit. It is what it is. As soon as she would have said the word bullshit, if I was Cynthia, I would have been like, okay, if you think that this is bullshit, here you go, and then toss the red wine at her. But that was just me. So Ramona, she gets up, she walks away. She's like, you know what? But all of you are just boring. All of you are just boring women. Like, I can't believe this. Like, just make the conversation about me, because none of you are interested enough to have a conversation about each other. It always has to revolve around me. It always has to be about me. So she walks away with her wine. Teresa's just looking there stuck like... That's another thing that Kenya was also bothered by Ramona when she was just like, I can't believe it. She's insulting everybody by saying nobody's interested enough to have a conversation about themselves, that everything always has to revolve around Ramona, you know? And I don't know, Ramona just, she just oozes that toxic energy around. Like anytime she's around, something bad happens, but I guess people love her because she makes good TV. I mean, realistically, yeah, if she wasn't on the show, how would the dynamic on the show be? You know, on this specific show, like what would have happened? Would we have had drama at all? So I guess we do need her, even though sometimes she could be annoying, or most times she could be annoying. So Kenya, she finally returns to the table. She's telling Teresa, you know, I want to support your event right now, the meatballs. Even though the meatballs don't really have a lot of flavor in it, you need a little bit more spices in it, I still want to be here to support you because you were there to support me, so I'm sorry for this. And she apologized for her behavior that I don't think that she had to apologize for. I mean, it happens. It is what it is, and that's life. You know, that's that. She sits back down, and they're like, okay, you know, it wouldn't be an Italian dinner if it wasn't somebody walking away or having a fight, etc., etc. And then Ramona, she's just wandering the house all drunk, you know, a hot mess, just looking for somebody to talk to. And she eventually finds somebody. I don't know who this old man was that she was talking to. And she was like, you know, they're all ganging up on me. They're all just trying to fight me. Do you feel like that? Do you ever feel like people are ganging up on you? And he's just looking at her like... like, Ramona just a mess. And that was that, y'all. What did y'all think about this episode? Do y'all think that Kenya did too much by slapping the drink out of Ramona's hand? Or do y'all think that Ramona deserved that and much more by Luann and Kenya? And what do y'all also think about Cynthia versus Ramona? Do y'all think that Cynthia was doing too much? Was she doing too little? Should she had just like ate her meatballs? What do y'all think? Let me know down in the comments. But before that, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy new year. I hope 2022 is really, really good to all of us. 2021, it was a roller coaster of a ride. I mean, it's crazy how it just came and left. Hold on, I need a minute. I'm getting emotional. Candace, can you give me some of your tissues? Candace, can you give me one? Okay, thank you. It's just crazy to me how... Here, thank you so much. No, you could use them for next season. No, season 7, you could use those. Okay, but it's just so crazy that 2021 just came and it's just gone like that. Like within I believe in like 2 days, it's gonna be just gone. And you know, next thing you know, it's 2022. But 2022, I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be more Housewives and more shows to review. So thank you so much for sticking with me all through 2021 while I reviewed all these shows. It has been really, really fun. It has been a roller coaster of a ride to see all the women on the show. It's just like the hot ass mess. But I thank each and every one of you. I really, really appreciate the support. I truly, truly do. So I hope 2022 is a good year for all of us and for the world itself, because the world is a hot mess too. But with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Bye, y'all. Happy New Year's. Mwah.